Hi guys, just before we get into the show, I want to address something really quickly because we could be here all day talking about otherwise. And as Shamrock Rovers appeal to the Court of Arbitration following obviously Dawson the Boy and a suspension for that FAI Cup tie, in which Bohemians won by 1-0. Now, a couple of things here. First of all, I don't blame Bohemians at all here. They were given the go-ahead by the FAI. If there's a case to be heard from Shamrock Rovers' point of view, I don't blame them at all either. This for me is on the FAI. If Shamrock Rovers win, playing devil's advocate here, this appeal, then this descends into chaos and the FAI have an awful lot to answer for here. Now forget about the Shamrock Rovers Bohemians rivalry for a minute if you're a Rovers or a Bowls fan. The reason why this could descend into chaos for a start is the fact that Bowls are due to travel on Sunday to play Kerry FC. Where does that leave Kerry FC? Because if Rovers win the appeal, I've no doubt Bowls will then appeal, which means no game can probably be played on Sunday. Kerry are getting ready for Bohemians, they're prepared. There's Bohemians fans obviously pay tickets and all that, but there is Bohemians fans who've organised to stay the weekend in Kerry. And I'm sure if Shamrock Rovers were in that boat themselves, that those fans would be thinking, what's going on here as well, to be fair. But if it turns out that the FAI have made a big mistake here and Rovers win the appeal, then the FAI are simply a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. Look, I'm not a fan of them anyway, and if this turns out that the FAI have actually messed this up, then heads need to roll. It's an absolute shambles if that's the case, and they're an absolute disgrace, to be honest with you. Heads will need to roll, big time. Because it'd be embarrassing as well. They don't do enough for this league at the best of times without crap like this, to be honest with you. Because if Rovers do win the appeal, this is going to rumble on and on as well. As I said, Kerry FC are the middlemen and all this as well. So, look, just my quick thoughts on that. Now on to the show. Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to, I was going to say another Premier Division prediction show, but of course this is the FAI prediction show. We've got 8 games this weekend. Myself and JP are going to feature 4 games essentially and just give our predictions for the rest of the games. Last week JP won by 4 points to 1. He got the correct score, fair play to him in Sligo and Shells, and he got a correct result with Pats and Saba. I just got a correct result with Pats and Saba, so I lead by 110 points to 102. It's not much in it, JP, really, considering I was about 30 points ahead, is there? Or you were about 30 points ahead, I should say. It's not much in it.
Still close to call.
Oh, it's very close. It's very close. Honestly, like there's not like 8 points is nothing. I'm actually delighted it's close, to be fair. If one of us are miles ahead.
I've lost track the last few weeks, so I'm trusting you on that.
The good thing is there's video evidence, JP. You can go back and look at the last video and kind of, that kind of way. So that's the good thing about it. And the people in the comments will probably tell me if I messed up anyway. So, yeah. The first game we'll get into is your club, JP. I'll start in this one. I'll talk about a bit about Cork City. I'll give my prediction first. Cork City and Derry City at Turner's Cross. And, I see this as a game, serious potential, but a skin, if I'm honest, for Derry City. Cork City, this isn't your normal first division against Premier Division team, in my view. You've got a side that are flying in the first division. They've lost 1 match, don't concede goals. Brad Waite, their goalkeeper, is a good goalkeeper. He's 17 clean sheets this season. Charlie Lyons has been strong at the back for them too. But recently they've added, obviously, Sean Maguire and Rory Keeshan. Be very interested to see if the two of them actually play in this game. And I always felt Rory Keeshan played better with a partner anyway. He can drop a bit deeper. I think that suits him slightly better. And be interested to see if him and Maguire play together. They've got young Cathal O'Sullivan, obviously, who's a very good young prospect. And they've got Jack Doherty, who's got great vision and an eye for a goal. So, this is not going to be an easy game for Derry City at all. It's going to be a packed Turner's Cross, a difficult place to go to. Tim Clancy, I think, revels in the underdog scenario at times as well, to be honest with you. And you're not going to like this, so I'm going to go for a bit of an upset here. I'm going to go for Cork City to win at 1-0. How are you seeing it from a Derry City point of view?
Well, it was probably one draw that you probably didn't want away. You take it all day long at home, I think. Turner's Cross has never been an easy venue for Derry to go to. It's only in recent years that they've really had a wee bit of joy down there. think the last time they're down there, Ronan Boyce scored a wonder goal. They won it for us. And if my memory's not if my memory is right, I think he scored a header in the previous game that season as well. Down there, so look, it is definitely the potential for banana skin. Obviously the signings of Sean Maguire and Rory Keaton in the last few weeks has made it a potential bigger banana skin. But I think Cork they're top of the first division. They're flying. You can't knock them for that. They've signed those two players obviously with a view to next season, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they've Greg Bulger in there as well from the start of the season.
Great Bulger, yeah, absolutely. Again, bags of
So
experience. Yeah.
there's bags of experience in that team, but I think quality wise, Derry do have the better team. Um, it's not going to be easy for Derry down there, but I think if Derry can, I know they struggled last week, but against Dundalk, but that was a really well organised Dundalk. They came to Brandywell, made it difficult, and got their goal, and made it even more difficult. I don't see Cork playing that way, especially in front of their own fans. I see Cork having a go with Derry,
Mm.
which could potentially suit us. And the players that we have, and Davenport made a fantastic debut last week, 45-minute cameo. He was absolutely brilliant. And another night Derry probably nick that game in the second half. And I think you've called it as banana skin. You're going for an upset, and I can see why. But I just think if Derry can stop the service into the front two, I think we'll go on and win the game. It certainly won't be easy, but I'm gonna go 2-1 Derry.
2-1 Derry City. Shelbourne up against Galway United, all Premier Division clash. They've had tight games this season. You're going first on this one, but I'll let you talk about Shelbourne a bit more and I'll talk about Galway a bit more. Yes, so from Shelbourne's point of view, stuttered the last couple of weeks, JP. Um, Not an easy one for them at all going into this, is it? And obviously, Will Jarvis, I think. I know people talk about Malloy. I think Jarvis is actually a bigger loss for them, to be honest with you, because of the goals, output, and assists, etc. he brings to the team.
Yeah, they've stuttered, and we have been sort of saying all season that they are going to stutter. It's how they responded. It's how the teams behind them respond, and right now they're getting away with it. But this is the FAI Cup. You don't get away with it in the FAI Cup. If you lose, you're out. Simple as that. They lost to Sligo, um, and they're still top of the league with the game in hand. So, um, they've kind of got away with it because the teams behind them didn't capitalize on it. Um, so for Shelbourne, yeah, they've lost Malloy, they've lost Will Jarvis. We did sort of. I personally was looking at Shelbourne since Malloy to see how they respond to that, and they haven't really. It hasn't really affected them, especially defensively, which we kind of knew it would do.
Ironically, Cameron
Um,
Ledwidge got Player of the Month there as well, who's been
we we,
coming
we
in
kind
form.
of we kind of knew it wouldn't affect them. It's what well they lost with Will Jarvis. They lost goals. They lost assists. They lost creativity. I know they've signed Aidan O'Brien from Shrewsbury, but it's what does he bring the same? Does he bring the same as Will Jarvis is gonna? Only time will tell. He hasn't probably played since May, so it's going to take a wee bit of time for him to get up to speed. We saw it with Derry last year when they signed Paul McMullen and Danny Mullen, especially. It took the both of them October before you really seen the benefit of them, and you can see this season where Derry are seeing the benefits of having a pre-season with Danny Mullen, especially. So can O'Brien be? I think he's basically probably been brought in to fill a gap basically in the squad. I think that's what he's been brought in case he's needed. I know they're without Sean Boyd for a couple of weeks as well, so it's not getting any easier for them. Jarvis is a huge loss. The amount of goals that I think is it 9 goals he scored this year, and
Yeah,
how
eight in the
many?
league for sure. Anyway, unless
Yeah,
he's got a cup goal, I'm not sure, but eight in the league. Yeah.
how many of them was a winner and a 1-0 win, or the first goal in a 2-0 or a 2-1, So it wasn't just goals they were scoring, it was crucial goals. So they've lost that. They still got Sean Boyd and John Martin there as well, but It's a big loss for them. But I did expect that some, as I said earlier, I did expect Shelbourne to stutter at some stage. I expected it earlier than now, but in the league they're getting away with it. But they'll not if they stutter on Sunday or is it Friday? Sorry, um,
Friday. Yeah.
it's just in my head the FAI Cup Sunday for some reason. But if they stutter on Friday night, Galway will be there. They take advantage and they'll be out of the cup. But um, this is shaping up to be a really good game. As we said, it's been tight with the team. If they played three times, I know they've played twice. One in Toca, one in Galway, and it went to the home team. I'm not sure. Have they played?
I can't
And
take at the top of my head if they've played three times or not, but I do remember the two games, funnily enough,
yeah,
like you were
yeah,
saying there, yeah.
yeah. So eh, if they have, maybe the Shelbourne and Galway fans can remind us, but it's
Mm,
certainly one each in that sense. It's Toca, um, it's the game's at Toca, isn't it? So
mm.
you probably have to fancy Shelbourne, but Galway won't make it easy, and I'm gonna say 1-0 Shelbourne.
Yeah, I mean, Galway United, like watching them again, I watched them against St. Pat's there at the weekend as well. And, I hope they don't see this as an insult, but they really are the Wimbledon of the team, of the league, I should say. They really are, though. It's like long balls and like if they get a throw in, right? 15 yards even from the box nearly. It's like a corner kick. I mean, Ed McCarthy's throw-ins are ridiculous. It's not just that they're far, they're bullets. You know what I mean? They really are like corner
Rory
kicks.
Delap.
Yeah, honestly, so many corner kicks and big. Like Patrick Hickey isn't a striker, but he's been playing more or less as a target man striker. You know what I mean? A real typical old-fashioned way of playing. And Stephen Walsh kind of plays a bit of off him. They're so physical though, and they're so strong in midfield, like the likes of Bruder and players like that, and they're strong at the back. That I think they'll go into this one with a lot of confidence. To be honest with you, and Caulfield, as we know, is a wily character. Um, I think it'll be tight like you. I think this might go all the way, and I don't know. Would this be seen as a shock? But I'm going to go for 0-0, but Galway to win on penalties. Now I don't know what that. We'll have to discuss this later, JP, how this works in the prediction league. But at the
Well, that
moment, that's
happened.
what I'm going to go for.
That
Anyway,
happened in the last round, didn't it? Treaty, and
0-0.
I think it happened is in the last round, and I think we agreed that wasn't it the point we would get the point for Treaty going through.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to check back on the messages, but I think that's the way we played it the last time. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's a bit
so
more awkward with the cup, isn't it? Because I'm not going to say a different score if I think that, Galway
if
might
you
win
get the nil
penalties.
nil,
Mm,
so if you get the nil nil, then you've got 3 points
mm. Yeah,
basically.
that's
So
fair enough.
so it's
So
fair enough.
Shelbourne winning penalties.
So what did you say? Shit, nil nil and Shelburne on
I
penalties.
said Galway in penalties. That's
Galway
the
on penalties.
problem. If it's 0-0 and then Shelbourne win a penalties, we have a problem, do we? I'd say you get a point, right? You get a point. So I'd get a point in that scenario because you get the 0-0, let's say. You know what I mean? But if Shelbourne win in penalties, I don't get the two extra points. We'll do something like that. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. So
We'll go with that.
they get the full 3 points in that scenario. Galway has to go through.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm asking a lot of myself there in many ways to get the full three
Yeah. So
points. But
oh
that's what
no,
I'll
I'm
go.
happy with that. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
That's what I'll go for there. And I don't know if it'd be seen
Correct.
as a shock
Correct
or not.
score. Correct score as a draw.
Mm.
The team that you pick has to go through to get the 2 extra points.
Absolutely, yeah. Because it'd be ridiculous if I got 3 points and Shells won in penalties. Sligo Rovers and UCD at the showgrounds. And I was thinking about this one. I'm going first with this one. I'll let you talk a bit about Sligo Rovers. I'll talk about UCD. But, like, obviously, Sligo
That's
Rovers.
Sligo Rovers.
Yeah, or bit of red. Sligo Rovers will be are flying coming into this one. But something got me thinking as well. They don't do well against UCD, JP.
No, they don't.
They've stuttered against UCD in the last couple of years, and again, it is a bit of a banana skin. But UCD will play in a way of they're not going to go to Sligo Rovers, you see, and get everyone behind the ball. It's just not their
No,
style.
that's not their style.
It's not their style, regardless, and they're doing okay in the first division. Like they're third in the league, they're unbeaten in five. They're missing another top scorer, I think, Kieran Behan. He hasn't played in the last 5 games. 7 goals, so I don't know if he's available for this, but he's more of a winger, left and right. But the likes of Jake Doyle and Mickey Rackard have scored 6 and 5 goals respectively. Ennett Clancy, Sligo Rovers will know all about him as well, a defender. He was a Sligo Rovers man, and he was there at the club. But he's actually got 6 goals from defence this year as well. But they've got some decent players, like the Sean Brennan, of course, in the middle of the park. Is a nice little footballer, isn't he? But you
Fun
know,
as well.
yeah. So like, having said all that, 6-0 to Sligo Rovers. No, no, I do think they're playing too well at the moment. You can talk about Sligo Rovers now, but I'll go 3-1 Sligo Rovers, to be honest.
Aye, this was the running sort of not
It
the
was
running
gag almost.
no the running gag last year, wasn't it? That and probably the year before, I think it's
Yeah.
matter. It was like Sligo. They seemed to have the Indian sign over Derry. For them, UCD had the Indian sign over them. It was
I
like
could
they
be wrong, but did they knock out Motherwell and then lost to UCD after that? I think it's a possibility that happened. Sligo Rovers fans will be able to tell me though. Sure.
possibly,
Mm,
possibly. I think I'm not. I think
mm,
you're along them lines, but
Or
I
in
think
between the fixtures or something, you know what I mean? Yeah.
there was. I know there was at one stage. Was it last year or the year before? UCD had say 10 points, and
Mm,
four of them came against Sligo, or six of them came against Sligo, and you were like, they went to the showgrounds and they came so close. I think it finished 2-2, and they came so close to winning it 2-1, and
mm.
I think they beat them down there or something, and then eventually Sligo went to the UCD Bowl, and I think they got a dodgy penalty or something, and then that set them on their way to winning, and
Sligo
um.
Rovers don't get dodgy penalties. They only give dodgy penalties against them and stuff, JP.
No, but anyway, they're in good form. As I called it last week, they were going to beat Shelbourne, and they did. I didn't think the result against St. Pats would have affected them, because I think overall they seemed to. I'd never seen the game, never seen no highlights, but overall, I think it seemed to be that they deserve something out of it. If not, um, not the one. I think I did see a couple of clips of the highlights. I think it was at 1-1 or 2-1,
Mm.
and Lang gives the ball away, and Sligo hit the post, and if that goes in, it could be a good night for Pat. But um, they would have obviously felt hard done by with the decision that obviously went against them for the winning goal in that game. But fair play to them. You see teams that get decisions against them, and we know the Sligo put out the statement, and teams sometimes when that happens they fold, but they didn't. They stood up and were counted against the league leaders, and deservedly so. And I think is it 6 wins in their last 7 league games now, and then in
Mm.
between that they've had a really good cup win against Cove Wanderers. So they're definitely the informed team in Ireland at the minute. And I know, as I say, like UCD have always put it up to Sligo. Um, I don't see them going there and getting men behind the ball and trying to sneak a penalty shootout. I just don't see it. William O'Connor hasn't playing really good football this year. Um, and I think they'll go there and they'll have a go, just simply the same way Cork are going to have a go against Derry, I think. But I think ultimately Sligo's quality at the minute is going to come out on top, and I think UCD will score. But I think Sligo will win 3-1.
I've gone for the same as me. Now, our final feature games, Kerry FC and Bohemians, have talked about this is the top of the video, but so we'll just stick to the game with this one. But hopefully, it goes ahead for a start. But yeah, you're going to go first with your prediction for this one. But yeah, I'll let you talk about Bows a little bit and give your prediction. I'll talk about Kerry then and give my prediction.
I honestly, Keith, I really, really hope this game goes ahead. For Kerry's sake. Because I don't think they're thinking in Kerry in this
Well, they're
scenario.
piggy in the middle a bit here.
They're pig in the middle, like they're preparing for their biggest game in their history. Um, the game's on a Sunday. Obviously, I
Mm,
think it was moved to the Sunday
mm,
because they've got Bohemians. They're looking for the big crowd down. They're preparing for a big gate. If this game's called off, everything that they've prepared for has gone out the window. And then it's probably going to be replayed, whether it's Shamrock Rovers or Bohemians, in the middle of the week, and they're not going to get the same crowd. So I really, really hope for Kerry's sake this game goes ahead. And I think it's just self-interest really that it is keeping this going. I just don't see how the FAI would have made a blunder as big as what is being claimed. And I just obviously Bohemians are not to blame on it. They were told that Devoy was allowed to play, so they played him. They've won the game. But anyway, Bows, they seem to get a new player bounce. With a couple of signings, they beat Shamrock Rovers. I think they got was it a win in the league again after that as well? Maybe they didn't.
Well, no wins in the league after that,
Oh,
JP.
once,
Actually,
no.
draws with Dundalk, and then a defeat, obviously at home to Waterford, the
So
way they
the
lost it.
2-0 up against Waterford, lose 3-2, then get a penalty and hit the crossbar. Now, I talked about dodgy penalties in
Again, this was
the
outside the
last
box.
game. This was an even bigger dodgier penalty. It was
A
I
bigger
don't even
dodgier penalty.
I don't even see how this can be deemed inside. It wasn't even close enough to the box to be deemed inside.
Mm,
It's just a poor decision.
mm,
And Flores wasn't it whacked the crossbar with it.
mm.
So
Rooney, yeah.
Dale Rooney, sorry. So look, Bows they're probably one of the hardest teams to call at the minute in terms of trying to predict an outcome. But I think it's a good tie for them. Um, and that's no disrespect to Kerry. I think Kerry will be looking for the big gate and obviously hoping that they can sneak a win and get through the quarter final. But I think Bows really should have enough to get over the line in this game. I've seen comments online saying if Reynolds loses this, he should go, which I think is absolutely not. I can get the reason behind it, why they're saying that, but I think it's absolute nonsense. He's only in the door a few months. He hasn't even got his stamp on the team yet. So look, I think Bows will win this, and I'm going to say 3-0 Bohemians.
3-0 to Bohemians. Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, like with Kerry FC, this is actually a sellout. It's their biggest game. I'm going to assume it goes ahead for now, but it's the biggest game of their history. It's fantastic that they're. I know Drogheda were there last year, but to be honest, like a name like Bohemians coming down to Kerry, it is a bit of a bigger deal for them, isn't it? To be
I
fair,
think the only bigger deal it gets is probably Shamrock Rovers.
ironically.
I
Uh,
know, I know, I know.
Maybe it's all Kerry's fault. Maybe they want Shamrock Rovers.
They're
Maybe
egging
we're
them
missing
on.
something there. But yeah, I mean, look, they've been fantastic. I think Conor McCarthy's the youngest manager in the whole of the league. He's 26 now, which is just incredible, and second bottom in the first division. Some of the results have tailed off a little bit, but Ryan
It's
Keller,
fantastic that they've doubled. There's still probably another series to go, and they've
mm,
already doubled their points tally from last year. I know they were unlucky in a few games last year, but they have double what you had last in the entire last year. Is fantastic,
mm.
and last year was obviously they were looking to consolidate, and now they've built upon that, and they've got a wee run in the cup as well. So fantastic work by all down there.
And not only that, they had a couple of games where they were beaten well last year. They haven't had that this year. The biggest defeat, I believe, was 2-0 against Cork City, which is certainly no shame. And, another goal scorer. Gaxton was their goal scorer last year, but Ryan Kelleher this year with 13 goals. Sean McGrath is, a great leader at the age of 21. They have a very young squad overall. But they've their club that,
That's
you know,
their policy basically, isn't it? Just they
it is
provide
their
that.
policy, and I think it's correct as well. Like, you know what I mean, not to go full throttle and kind of spend money that isn't there, etc. And they do get good
Let's not forget,
crowds.
sorry for cutting across. Let's
Yeah,
not forget they lost their CEO right on the eve of the season. They
well,
done dock as
that
well.
sounds like it was a good thing, to be honest with you. But that's another story. Uh, that's another story. But look, yeah, I mean, it'd be fantastic. Like, I'd love to be down there myself. It'd be very interesting to see Kerry FC take on Bohemians at Mount Hawk Park. But they'd be going into this game as well. Like, they won't be looking to make up the numbers. They'd be thinking, can we provide a shock here? And Bows are a bit brittle, and I know they've got good players. And I think, like you saying there, if they go in front, let's say, they'll probably go on and win the game. But they'll be thinking, can we test Bows? Can we test their metal really going into this one? And they'll give it a right go, I think. But the other thing is, like we were saying, other games, Kerry, I don't think sit back here either. I think they actually try to go at Bowes and try to give them a game. But Bowes should have too much. The likes of Tierney and Devoy should be controlling that game in the middle of the park. And, they still have Dale Rooney and players like that going forward that are well capable of causing problems. But yeah, no shock here for me either. I'm going to go for Kerry FC 0, Bohemians 2. Right, we'll finish up by giving our predictions for the final four games: Ballyfermot and Wexford. Ballyfermot are a club in Dublin, not too far away from Inchicore and St Patrick's Athletic, actually, JP. But Wexford should be looking to win this, and they had a great win last time out, 3-2 against Athlone in the league. I'll go for Wexford to win this one, 3-1.
Yeah, I'll say 3-0.
3-0. I'll give you this one first. Drogheda United home to Wilton from Cork.
3-0 Drogheda.
4-0 Drogheda. It's like a poker game, this. Big Limerick derby between Treaty United and Pike Rovers. So it is that Treaty's ground. Of course, Treaty were lucky in the last round, all joking aside, to get through in
Against
non-league opposition. And be some crack, particularly if Pike, being from Limerick, or to go to Treaty and get a win. But I don't see it. I think Treaty, that fright might have helped them going into this tie. I'll go for 2-0 Treaty United.
2-1 Treaty.
2-1 Treaty. Finally, Waterford FC and Athlone Town, which is a good game. And Waterford obviously bounced back with a massive win last time out. Funnily enough, Athlone were 2-0 up in their last game against Wexford and lost 3-2. So this is an interesting one. Athlone, the type of team that do... What's that?
A mirror image.
Yeah, exactly. Athlone are the type of team that like to play open football as well. But yeah, you're going first in this one.
I'm going 2-2 and Waterford on penalties.
I don't think Waterford played a very much the second string team in the last round. They won't be taking that chance here. Bagley and MacDonald are back. They're playing well. I like the look of Glenfield. 4-1 Waterford FC for me. Before we finish up, JP, we'll get your predictions for the two European games as well. Obviously, we've done a European show. If anyone is watching, if you want to check back in the European show, but we'll stick the predictions in here. Sabbath home to St. Pat's first up. It's very hot over there, I'm told, by the way, which worries me.
1-all.
Take it all day. I can't remember, what did I say? I can't remember the European show. What I said 2-1 Sabah, actually, and I said Pats will go through in penalties, so that puts me in that scenario like earlier, doesn't it? Shamrock Rovers are home to Celtia at Tallaght Stadium.
2-1 Shamrock Rovers. Rovers on penalties.
Oh, I actually went 2-0, which might be a bit ambitious and for them to get through. But yeah, that's great stuff, JP. Thanks very much for coming on.
Keith.
Fair play to you. No bother. Guys at home, let us know what you think in the comments. Give us a few predictions. Subscribe if you haven't before. And once again, thanks for watching. Cheers, JP.
Keith.